Man, I thought I had seen it all from Stephen A. Smith as far as like dumb lists and dumb takes, but like this might be the worst. This might actually be the worst take I've ever seen from Stephen A. Smith. And like this is a guy who had predicted the finals wrong like 7 years in a row. Like, it's bad. It's bad, but in this video we're going to be talking about Stephen A. Smith's playoff runs by small guards. So you guys can see this list right here. 2001 Iverson, 2015 Curry, 2019 Dame, 2016 Kyrie, and 2024 Jalen Brunson. They are his best playoffs for small guards. Like Brunson, number one. Brunson, number one. Brunson, number one. Dame, number three, who got swept by Steph without KD. You've got Steph in 2015 at number four. What is Steph 2015 doing at four? I maybe don't put Steph 2015 on the list, but put Steph 2022 on the list. And put Steph 22 on the list. I was going to say at number one, but it doesn't deserve to be number one. As great as Steph Curry was in 2022, he was unbelievable. Does not deserve to be number one. Because the number, you see that number 5 right there? One of the best playoff runs ever. Allen Iverson in 2001 is one of the best playoff runs ever. And not only that, Stephen A. Smith he covered the Sixers. Like, a big reason Stephen A. Smith is in the position he's in now is because he was one of the main journalists covering Allen Iverson. Like, it doesn't make sense. And I get it, they've had fallings out. I don't know what terms they're on. It doesn't make a difference. This is a man who also said that he basically didn't put Dwight Howard on his top 75 list because he didn't like him. Like, he has put Allen Iverson's 2001 run. Prime Allen Iverson. 4 spots behind Jalen Brunson. And you know what the most disrespectful thing of all this is? Because at least, like, Stephen A. Smith's basketball, like, knowledge probably doesn't go back past prior to Jordan. Nothing before Jordan's first championship mattered. You know, there was a team that beat Michael Jordan twice and won 2 consecutive rings, led by a small guard. And you can maybe argue that both those finals MVPs were by small guards if you want to consider. I know no one would consider Joe Dumars a small guard, but Isaiah Thomas. Either Isaiah Thomas, by the way. You can put either of them in. And honestly, I think you could argue that little Isaiah Thomas had equally as good a playoff run as Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson is literally just playing the Isaiah Thomas role, which is fine. He's doing it at an unbelievable rate. How many 40-point games has he had? It's crazy. It's crazy what he's done, especially with the guys around him. But like, he wouldn't be dropping 40 if Julius Randle was healthy. He wouldn't be dropping 40 if the whole team were healthy because he wouldn't have as much freedom. And that's nothing against Jalen Brunson. The Knicks don't stand a chance of winning if they don't play like that. But still, Kyrie in 2016, like, no. I get it. He had an unbelievable 3-game spell to end the finals. 3 games where he was a 1A, 1B with LeBron James. That's how good he was. But no. Dame in 2019. The list realistically should be Allen Iverson, or maybe an Isaiah Thomas. Maybe an Isaiah Thomas. You can put, like, Pistons Isaiah Thomas, that is. You can put Allen Iverson 2001, Pistons Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry 2022. They are 1, 2, and 3. They are no question about it. 1, 2, and 3. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're 1, 2, and 3. Jalen Brunson could lose in the second round. I think if they lose to the Pacers in Game 7, as great as he's been, Isaiah Thomas for the Celtics. In over him. Stephen Curry, 2018. Probably could have won Finals MVP. I'm not going to say he was robbed, but I think if you think Steph Curry deserved to win, you're not crazy, because I do think that 3 of the 4 games he was better than Durant. 2019, honestly, Stephen Curry over Dame Lillard. In that, he wasn't even the best small guard for his year. You might be saying, oh, but like Dame Lillard didn't have that crazy supporting cast. Man, Steph Curry without Kevin Durant beat the Rockets. Steph Curry without KD swept Dame. And Steph Curry without KD and Klay almost got them to Game 7 of an NBA Finals. Klay Thompson missed Game 2 and obviously got injured in Game 6. Like, It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, this list. This is one of the worst things I've seen Stephen A. Smith say. And again, this is a guy who is notoriously wrong. And again, there's how many Chris Paul runs? Do you want to put 2021 Chris Paul? 08 Chris Paul when they beat the Spurs. 08 Chris Paul. Honestly, they lost in the second round too. And what Chris Paul did was more impressive than what Jalen Brunson did this year. You can put him on that list. Like, I just cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. Even he might not. I think he probably does have the best playoff run for a small guard this year. But like, I'm pretty sure he's listed as taller than Donovan Mitchell. I don't think is like, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee you could even put him there. But like, and this is why I call Jalen Brunson the most overrated player, is because this is not an uncommon take. People are saying this. It's like Jalen Brunson's been so as good as he's been so overrated because he has a higher usage rate than Luka's ever had in the playoffs and is chucking. Like, the guy's absolutely chucking, and it's fine because if he doesn't chuck, they don't win. But still, like, this is why I'm like, I call him the most overrated player ever, or in the NBA. As brilliant as he is, as absolutely brilliant as Jalen Brunson is, to put Jalen Brunson above Pistons Isaiah Thomas and 4 spots ahead of 2001 Allen Iverson and above 2022 Steph is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you want to put him above Kyrie 2016, cool. Because Kyrie, actually no, it's not cool because Kyrie had 3 of the best games I think I've ever, like 3 best games for a small guard maybe ever in winning that ring. So no, that's not good enough. And that's not cool. Like, if he was number 5, it would be pushing it. It would be pushing it, putting Brunson at 5. Like, it's not a top 5 run of all time. But like, if you put him at 5, cool. But it's a debatable 5 with, if you want to put Kyrie at 4, and then it is Isaiah Thomas, Allen Iverson, and Steph Curry is the top 3. If you want to put Kyrie at 4, cool, because he did go and win it as like a small guard with how good he's been. That's a tough one to really argue. And then that number 5 spot between, honestly, you're looking at between Isaiah Thomas 2017 and Jalen Brunson 2024. And you might be saying, oh, but like Brunson scored more 40-point games. Man, Isaiah Thomas, that was one of those iconic playoff runs ever. Like, that Boston Celtics team was just built around him in the exact same way it was built around Brunson. If you want to give the nod to Brunson, cool. But I think making the conference finals with a much tougher matchups, like that 2017 Boston Celtics team played a tough Chicago Bulls team with Dwayne Wade, who was still pretty decent, Jimmy Butler, who was an all-star, like start of his prime, and Rondo, who was pretty decent. And that team also had some guys around them. You've got that team in the first round. And in the second round, they faced the Washington Wizards with a healthy John Wall, Bradley Beal, Marcin Gortat. That was both of those were much better teams. Actually, no, sorry. That Wizards team were as good as the Sixers team that Boston played, especially because of Embiid not being right. And then that Bulls team are so much better than the Cavs team. Or sorry, not the Cavs team, the Pacers team that they're facing right now. And they're losing because of injuries, sure. But like, still, a really tough run in. That is the argument for number 5. But that's it. If you want to put Brunson 5, it's not a wild list. If you want to put Brunson 4 spots ahead of Allen Iverson's 2001. Even Dame 2019 is incredibly dumb having him in there because he was not even the best small guard that year. But look, it is what it is, I guess.